Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I am here live tonight on Facebook and also co-recording for YouTube. I always post these live events after the fact on YouTube. So welcome, welcome. If you are just joining and if you see me looking up and down, that is why, because I'm looking at two different cameras. And it is our Monday night date on June 5th, 2023, and I'm going to be going all the way until June 11th, 2023. But these broadcasts have a much longer sort of lifespan. I mean, it's not just on this week. However, like when I talk about big planets on the move, which I'm going to be talking about 3 big planets on the move this week in astrology. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned in for that. Basically, what the deal is they actually will be active for months, some of them, in those astrological signs. So it's very relevant beyond just this week, just so that you know. So welcome, welcome. If you're just joining, go ahead and post below your astrological sign. I love to hear where you're tuning in from, the location. Maybe it's in the US, maybe it's outside of the US. And so welcome everybody who is just joining me. Like I said, we have some big planets on the move this week. There's kind of a lot of astrological energy going on. And a lot of it has to do with love and relationships. So I'm going to be talking about love and relationships a lot tonight. So welcome if you're just joining. Nobody has commented yet. And I love it when you comment because then I know that you can hear my broadcast. If you can, go ahead and do that in the comment section. And what is your astrological sign? What's your sun sign, moon sign, rising? Yay, Melinda. She's my first commenter and it looks like it's working. That's fantastic. Welcome, Melinda. Capricorn, Cancer moon. You're a full moon, baby. How was this full moon for everybody? I mean, we just had a big full moon going on in the evening, overnight between Saturday and Sunday. We had the big full moon happening in Sagittarius. I was wondering how anybody was feeling from the full moon. Did you have any effects from it? What were the effects? Hey, Lewis, welcome. Almir, welcome. Taurus, Sagittarius, and Cancer placements. Awesome. Almir said, can we say insightful? This full moon was insightful. Okay. That's a good word. I like insightful. Yeah, you know, I really personally, I didn't feel like it was a terrible full moon for me personally. But I will say it definitely disrupted my sleep, especially the days going into the full moon. And then after the full moon took place, I experienced a crash, which is pretty common. That tends to happen during full moon times where a couple days before it's like you're like up and you're you know, oh no, Melinda, she said she broke her arm in 2 places. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Hey Robin, welcome. Hey Sarah, Leo from Vermont, welcome. Oh, I'm so sorry, Melinda. We'll have to send you some good vibes and some good healing. I'm sorry about that. Basically, what's going on this week, like I said, we came off of that big full moon. There was a lot of astrological energy this weekend. Also, Mercury was conjunct Uranus over this weekend, still is, by the way, at the time of this broadcast. And so it's a lot of there was a lot of like kind of activity, you know, and when Almir used the word insightful, yeah, I mean, Mercury conjunct Uranus can be very insightful. It can be sudden epiphanies and sudden unexpected, like kind of like light bulb moments and all kinds of things like that. It can also feel like a Mercury retrograde. I'll just say that. So there's that goes on with it. Hey, Wendy, welcome. Scorpio, Virgo. Lost a loved one. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Over a week ago. I apologize. My heart goes out to you. Hi Liz, welcome. Aquarius Sun, Pisces Moon. I also have a Pisces Moon. So welcome. Scorpio rising. And Melinda was thanking us for the love. I will say it again when there's more people kind of watching. But yeah, we had a lot of packed adventurous, you know, sort of astrological placements over the weekend. Now, we're going to get right into it. So on Monday, today, on June 5th, Venus has now moved into Leo. That happened this morning at 9:46 a.m. Eastern time. So 6:46 a.m. if you're out on the west coast of the United States, Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And so basically Venus is now in Leo as at as we're speaking. And it's a new thing. It just happened today. But here's the thing, and this is what I keep saying about these broadcasts. It's not just today. This particular Venus, because you know how almost once a month I'm saying there's a new Venus sign. Venus is going into a new sign, but not now. Venus is hunkered down in Leo because I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. Venus is going retrograde in Leo this summer, and we are now in the zone of the retrograde. So Venus moved into Leo, and Venus is going to park itself. So once a month, usually Venus goes into a new sign, but Venus is going to park itself in Leo until October 8th of 2023. So this is relevant between now and October 8th of 2023. This information, this Venus in Leo, we are going to get a PhD in Venus in Leo, not just a certificate program. We're getting like a long stretch of Venus in Leo. And so if you have Venus in Leo already, you'll definitely be feeling this, or Leo sun signs, Miss Sarah, or anybody else that has a Leo sun, moon, Mercury, Mars and Venus, any of the other planetary things. If you have any planets in Leo, and if you don't, it still is affecting some area of your chart. So everybody, all of us watching this broadcast have Leo somewhere in our astrological chart. So what house is it in? What area of life it is it in? And if you say, hey, I don't even know what my chart looks like, and I'm just kind of new to astrology here. How do you feel about Leos? How are Leos present for you in life? Is it a fun, kind of interaction, or is it a contentious interaction? And so that's how you'll know what this Venus in Leo extended program is going to be like. And this is affecting our love lives and our financial lives. So Venus is Aphrodite. In Greek mythology, she was Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. And so she basically is in charge of our romantic sector, how we give and how we receive love, how we wish and hope and dream of being loved, what our romantic aspirations may be. Also, let me think, creativity. And really, if you think of Leo is the performer. Leo likes to get out there, be creative, like J-Lo, who's a sun sign Leo, and Whitney Houston, sun sign Leo, Madonna, sun sign Leo. A lot of very creative women that are even us, the Martha Stewart, she's on the cusp of Virgo. She's like a Leo Virgo, but she definitely has, a lot of Leo there too. I mean, so whenever we're talking about all this Venus in Leo stuff, we're talking about what's Leo like in your chart? Where are you creative? It's the performer, the sign of the performer. And so we like to kind of get out there and perform and be on, kind of parade and be more sort of public when things are in Leo. Not drama. I will say that a lot of people that are Leos don't like really public drama usually. It's more about just being like kind of out there and sort of open. Hey, Rita Virgo, Kelly, hello. Leo rising, yes, today. And today's your birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Kelly. Yes, Holly Mae West was a Leo. Yes, exactly. A lot of people out there are very kind of out front, the grand dames of Hollywood and some real diva sort of personalities. Even the men have a lot of Leo in their astrological chart, and so that is something that we are going to be kind of looking for and dealing with, and all of those things. And so that's basically what we're dealing with Venus in Leo is coming up here. And so it started today, like I said, on June 5th, and will be in Leo until October 8th. And I'm giving you guys the dates because some people like to write these down, okay? And so I'm giving you guys the dates and times if you like to write it down. So it's going to start the official retrograde in Leo. So Venus will be retrograde in Leo between July 22nd, so it's coming up, all the way until almost Labor Day of September 3rd, 2023. So in the summer there, at the end of July, all of August, and then even part of a little bit of September, we're going to be having Venus retrograde in Leo. That's why this is so important, and that's why I've been talking about this. Now, why is it so important? What's the retrograde? So a lot of people, even people who are not into astrology, have heard of Mercury retrograde. So Venus retrograde is retrograde with all the things I was just talking about. So Venus is in charge of how we love, how we give and receive love, our sensuality. It's our creativity, and it's also our finances. Venus has expensive taste. We'll just say that out loud, okay? Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, she likes to look good. She likes to have expensive things. She likes really pretty artwork. She likes to, kind of have that sort of show. You have to have little jewelry and all that kind of stuff, especially in Leo, because Leo is so sort of grand dame, over the top, expression of oneself. I have Leo rising, and as you can see, I love my jewelry. I love to have sparkles and makeup and hair and all that kind of stuff. I'm just a lady that likes that, and so it makes me feel good, and it's something that I like. And so that is very Leo-esque. And so when we're talking about our vibe, and we're talking about how we feel during Leo, we will have that sort of a little bit more of a bodacious, sort of extroverted, even if you're normally shy. And this can help us in our love life a little bit, especially if you're shy and you're like, ooh, I don't want to get out there and put myself out there. Venus and Leo can help us. Now, I will tell you, I've met so many Venus and Leo people, having Venus specifically in their astrological chart in Leo, that love gifts. That's like a gift love language for sure, because it's like, here's this expression of this beautiful sparkly thing, and I love you. It's like very, very much about that. Yes, Holly, it can be high maintenance, right? I have Leo rising. Yes, I can be high maintenance as well. Joanne, hello, welcome. Oh, you have a friend, Beverly. You see, what's interesting? These people are starting watch parties. They're starting to watch having Gretchen watch parties where girlfriends come to their house and they watch me on their whatever device. So that's pretty fun. Thank you. Hey, let's see, who else was here? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody was asking for prayers. Kelly, for your nephew in the hospital. Oh no, and his 21st birthday is tomorrow. If you wouldn't mind posting his first name, you don't have to post last name. You could post the first name. We can send your nephew prayers in the hospital for his 21st birthday. So we'll wish him a happy birthday and send him prayers. Kelly said, yes, hair is very important. It's totally an important thing. Let's see. Kelly said Nate. So we'll send Nate. We're going to send Melinda prayers too. One of our Monday night community watchers. She fell and broke her arm in 2 places. I'm just curious, Melinda, because which side of the body, I'm not sure why I'm kind of feeling activity on the right side, but as I'm saying that, but just if you wouldn't mind posting some which side of the body, because I'd like to talk about that so that people can learn. And so, yeah, so this can be really out there. There's going to be a lot of drama, especially coming up to this retrograde. So like I said, we all have heard of Mercury retrograde. Venus retrograde is considered to be one of the personal planets, meaning that it's closest to the Earth. That's what we call personal planets. The impersonal planets are like Pluto and Uranus and Neptune. They're out there, right? So they're furthest away from the planet. So it's almost like Venus is our neighbor. And so when we talk about personal planets, okay, it was on the left. Okay. All right. So that's weird because I was feeling right side, but okay, I'm going to talk about that in a second. And so when we talk about Venus being one of the personal planets, these retrogrades affect us a lot. They affect us very much like a Mercury retrograde because it's closest to us. That's why a Venus retrograde is going to be very active. And at one point during the retrograde, at the end of August into September, Mercury is also going to be retrograde at the same time. This is a hot spot. I've been talking about this literally since almost January, okay? And so we are here, and so let me just see if I can find this really quickly. With having Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde at the same time, it's really going to be ouchy. So Mercury is going to go retrograde on August 23rd, and it's going to be retrograde all the way until September 15th. So you can see for a few weeks there, Mercury and Venus at the same time in August to September is going to be retrograde. Both of them will be retrograde at the same time. So that's real crunchy. That's going to be really like, you talk about people coming back, exes coming back, all the people are going to come. They're all coming back. Okay. Family members you haven't talked to a long time, they're coming back. Everybody's coming back. So we're going to have a lot of repeating. And definitely is going to be going on. However, between now and July 22nd, it's not retrograde. Okay, so we're going to be having, I want you to be aware because this is going to be what happens is the planet goes forward, it stops, it goes retrograde, it stops, and then it goes forward again, right? And so we're going to be going back and repeating some things that are happening right now all the way until July of 2022. So pay attention to what's going specifically in love life, specifically in your creativity, and specifically in your area of finances. Now, because Venus is expensive and she likes expensive things, it is not an ideal time to have any kind of plastic surgery or any kind of new hairstyle or anything cosmetic done during a Venus retrograde. So that's why I'm giving you the heads up way ahead of time, because I know with these doctor visits nowadays, you have to book way in advance for laser treatments, for eyebrow, fill-ins, for lash extensions, for all kinds of things that are cosmetic. Now, look, if you have already been getting, let's say, I'll just use this as an example. Let's say you have already been doing lash extensions like for years, and that's not a new thing for you. And you're just going to the same technician, you're getting the same procedure done that you always get, you're in the safe zone. But if it's a brand new thing and you're like, I think I'll get my lashes extended, and you go during Venus, you might have an allergic reaction or botched, like some kind of thing. So you don't want to do anything new cosmetically, anything during Venus retrograde. No new like makeup and no new hair colors or whatever thing that you ladies are in. I want to just say this for the record. I posted on my personal page because I was giving kudos to Miss Martha Stewart for doing the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. And I had some angry women on my page, and they were all women, none of the men. They all said, she's beautiful. But it was the women who were very angry, and she got fillers and she's got plastic surgery and guess what? One of the biggest things that I do when I'm in private session, is I talk about these ideal dates and ideal timing, because that's what astrology is so good for. And so a lot of ladies ask me about getting cosmetic procedures. When should I have a tummy tuck, or when should I have a breast augmentation, or whatever? We do this. I think, look, as long as nobody's harming themselves and they're not having some human weird Barbie doll thing where it's like they're putting their health at risk and putting themselves at risk, I feel like we should get rid of because there's such shame associated with it. Like, everybody's doing it. Like, people behind the scenes are all asking me these questions. When should I get my eyebrows done? When should I get my, like microblading or whatever thing? They're all asking me these questions on the down low. They swear me to secrecy. Don't ever tell anybody I got this or this done. There's a lot of shame and a lot of sneaking around. It's in our culture. And there's a reason why this cosmetic plastic surgery business is like $1 billion business. Should we love people as they are? Of course. However, I would say dating back even past the Egyptian time, people have always been looking for the fountain of youth, and that's kind of what this Venus and Leo can be very much like this. When we talk about this type, Venus and Leo is quite vain. When we talk about Leo, Leo is ego. The ruler of Leo is the sun. It's ego. Like, everything revolves around the sun. Like, hey, I'm here, And so that's a Venus sign that loves to look beautiful and is very conscientious of aging and all that. And I always say, look, as long as it's not like a Michael Jackson situation where his nose was decompensated to the point where he didn't have a nose, that's putting yourself in risk and in danger. But if you're just doing a little something, 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 it's okay. It's okay. We're going to be fine. You know, I think we should just love each other. And if you want to have a filler, hey, have that, you know, I mean, as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting somebody else. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that as a little rant, but also that is also related to this Venus retrograde coming up. If you are a person, man or a woman, it doesn't matter, and gets cosmetic things done, you don't want to start a new procedure or have a new thing planned during that Venus retrograde time. And I gave you guys the dates. Hey Wendy, welcome. Oh, you had to leave. That's okay, no worries. Wendy at Aquarius, welcome. Ashley said, hello, Astro family. Lifting your spirits. Oh, that's awesome. Oh no, you had to, oh, there's so many sad stories here. Your daughter and you had to lay your horse to rest tonight. Oh my gosh. Love and Reiki to you, Ashley. So, you know, let's go back just for one quick second about the full moon. You know, full moons are portals, even when they're kind of happy full moons, though this one was in Sagittarius, which is literally the ruler of horses, I'll just say. And also Sagittarius in general is definitely related to, animals, you know, not just big animals, but also dogs and cats and whatever. And so I have heard of a lot of my clients texting me that they had to put their animals to sleep this week or this weekend. So I'm sorry, Ashley. So we will send you, you know, lots of love and lots of light. I know people are commenting and supporting each other. That's what this wonderful Monday night group is all about, is supporting everybody and sending everybody Reiki and love and healing and all that, because life, you know, sometimes is a little hard. So we're sending love bubbles to Nate, who's in the hospital right now, somebody's nephew. Love bubbles to Melinda. Love bubbles to Ashley Jean, who had to euthanize her beloved horse. And I can't remember if there's anybody else, but yeah, we're definitely feeling this for sure. So getting back to Venus and Leo, we're going to see a lot of drama on the news with love relationships, breakups, especially during that Venus retrograde, breakups of couples, famous couples. That always happens during Venus. There's always a really big famous couple that breaks up during Venus retrograde. So we'll be hearing about that. You know, in our own love lives, we will experience a little extra. Okay. Sometimes, remember, Leo can be quite theatrical. So it's a little dramatic, you know, when we come to Leo. Though typically, if, you know, a higher functioning Leo would never want to have anything like, you know, like there would never be like a big fight in public. That's a higher functioning, a higher consciousness Leo, we'll just say, would never like that, because it's like Leo is really about putting on more of that sunshiny face. You know, it's ruled by the sun, and so it's more about wanting to look a certain way, and like I just said, having the cosmetic and having the jewelry and having the hair and all the Leo stuff that is Leo is famous for. It's ironic though, Leo men tend to have really either lioness hair, or they have very little hair and they'll go bald and they'll shave it. Leo women tend to have very fine hair, which I do. I'm not a Leo sun sign, but I'm a Leo rising sign. Fine hair that has a lot of it, but it usually texturally is fine. And then also often has like a reddish hue to it. So yeah, so that kind of tends to be, especially Leo risings. We all know a famous Leo rising whose name is Donald Trump. And he has Leo rising, and what is he the most famous for? I mean, even before he was president, he was famous for that hair. You know, that was his deal. That one strand that is probably wrapped around 400 times. But he's very conscientious, right, of his hair. That's a thing with Leo rising and Leo people. So Venus and Leo is definitely about the hair and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about it in a superficial sort of way. I'm just talking, it's a sign that's in love with glamour and beauty, like you know, Miss Martha Stewart, you know, she was all glammed out when she's 80. Hey, you know, some women want to be all natural and have the wrinkles and have the gray hair, and they're beautiful too. I think we should celebrate everybody, whether you want to get fillers or you want to get wrinkles, and it doesn't matter. Like, we all are beautiful in our own way. You know, we all have our own way we age. We all have our own aging philosophy, and we all, you know, kind of just, and that's our right. And nobody is right or wrong. You know, everybody, it's like a spectrum, you know. So yeah, so I hope that helps. So yes, so if you are out there trying to find a betrothed, this is the greatest, bestest time as far as going to places where there's entertainment. Concerts, shows, events, plays, art exhibits, any kind of thing like that. Because remember, it's Leo, and it's not about, you know, you definitely can dress to the nines with Leo, you know. I mean, you can really dress up. My grandfather, who is passed away, but I just remember as like a child, you know, if he wanted to, you know, he would put on his suit, and, you know, he always looked nice, you know, when he would go out to dinner. It wasn't just like you would go out to dinner in like a t-shirt and jeans. Like, he'd have to put on his suit and, you know, really look a certain way. That's very Leo-esque. Both my grandparents on my mother's side were both Leos. So yeah, so I know this energy. Rosalie, thank you for sending me stars. Ding, ding, ding. You guys can send me stars. It's a little way of, you know, kind of supporting the show financially. If you feel that you would like to do something like that, I definitely appreciate it. Holly said, getting used to the new me, wrinkly and chubby. Well, and that's the thing. It's about embracing ourselves as we are. You know, I mean, if we want to get all the stuff done, we can. And if we want to embrace ourselves and love ourselves, we can, as long as it's within, you know, we're not hurting ourselves and you know, causing any kind of damage to our body. You know, I mean, I feel like that's the cutoff, you know, but as long as we're loving ourselves, and sometimes lipstick makes us love ourselves more, or sometimes being all natural and embracing our new wrinkles and our whatever, that's beautiful too. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, so a lot of people right now, this is a good time to go on dating apps and whatever. Now, I also want to say this. Not only is this energy going to be active between again, June 5th, 2023, all the way until October 8th of 2023. So that's a lot of time right there. Unusually long, because remember, usually Venus is in one sign for just 1 month. So we're going to have a deep dive on what this means to us. And somebody said, and I can't remember who it was because it goes very quickly, but somebody said that their area of Leo in their chart is empty. That doesn't matter, because it's going to be highlighting a house or an area. Now, if you are a Leo, you are in the heart of this and you will be feeling this. Or if you are an Aquarius, you will be feeling the opposition of this. Now, Venus oppositions are not, they're not usually like horrible Venus oppositions, except for there's a caveat and there's an exception, which I am going to get to in just a second. If you are another fire sign, or your Venus is in a fire sign like Aries or Sagittarius, you'll get extra fiery, because remember, Leo is passionate and you know, it's the cat, it's the lion. So we'll have a lot of passion. Even air signs might feel an uplift from this. You know, like I said, Leo and Aquarius are opposite each other, and that's an air sign. But Libra, if you have a Venus in Libra, you'll definitely feel this more, or Gemini, you could get a little, you know. If you are another fixed sign, you might feel this, but more in a little contentious way. So definitely if you have Venus in Taurus or Scorpio, all the fixed signs are kind of activated right here. So this is a lot. Now, remember what I was saying last week, and if you missed the broadcast, I will repeat myself for sure. Let's see, Ashley said wrinkles and rolls are a sign of wisdom, love, and happiness. Yeah, whatever you want to. I think we have to learn how to embrace. There's all different shades and colors and sizes, and we have to just love each other. Ashley said, but leading up to Venus retrograde in Leo, will Venus be more into creative breakthroughs? Yes. And romantic and financial breakthroughs. Of course. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying, for sure. Yes. So that's exactly the thing. It's going to infuse us with this extra sort of bodacious, confident, the sun is pretty darn confident. This is self-confidence, and it's about embracing that, embracing our inner king and queen. And we'll be looking for that for sure in a partner right now. No shenanigans. We want to king to our queen, or a queen to our queen, or whatever you're into right now. That is the thing, that we want to have. We want to have a partner or a spouse that can rule, sort of with us. Remember, Leo is associated with royalty, and that's why I'm referencing kings and queens. But which way you go, if it's 2 kings, 2 queens, whichever, it doesn't matter. It's about trying to find your partner that is equal to you. And Leos tend to like to be very proud of their partner. They like to have a partner that sometimes looks good and is a certain way. And again, we have to just watch with getting that too out of control, or too egotistical, or too like where you get like the show piece, like as a partner or spouse. No, we want to make sure that it's quality, a person that we can really love and respect as well, not just based on looks or superficiality, which sometimes Leo can be that way if it's an unevolved Leo. You see, people who have the unevolved side of Leo, that's how that sort of comes out. And so if you know a Leo that's like overly superficial or overly whatever, then you'll know that it's like, ooh, they have some work to do. No judgment. It's just like, that's just how it is. Thank you, Holly. Ding, ding, ding. She sent me some stars as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh no, Wendy, you used a vacuum on your face? Oh my God. Yes, learn to embrace your your wrinkles, my dear. Yes, I think we all, look, if you want to buy a little face cream or a little, who cares, I don't think we should judge, because people, it's our culture. This is where we live. This is the time we live in. We incarnated in this time with all this technology that of course, people are going to want to have the fountain of youth. Just remember, the fountain of youth really comes through diet, through exercise, and yes, through our genes on how we age. And all these little things can help, of course. I mean, it's fine, we have to live and let live. So remember last week when I said that there is that TSquare going on, and I've been talking about that TSquare for a few weeks now. And so remember, Mars is getting replaced, and today Venus slipped in and is actually opposing Pluto today. So the opposition between Venus and Pluto is happening. The peak of it was today at 12:05 p.m. Eastern time. Again, earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast or in a different country, you have to do the math there. But basically, Venus-Pluto opposition, when I said that there was an exception to the rule that most Venus planet transits are pretty nice, this is the exception. Really, there's 2 kind of exceptions. When Venus highlights Saturn, or when Venus highlights Pluto, that can be kind of ugly. And so today, this is the opposition, the Venus opposing Pluto today. And like I said, the peak of it is today, but it's going to be active all week until about roughly the 8th, and it is starting to kind of like let go around that time, 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th. It's like starting to sort of break free, that big TSquare. That thing has been really messing up. A lot of people have been telling me that it's messing up their life right now. A lot of things have been crunched down. A lot of people are waiting to hear back about jobs or school applications or medical testing, or any kind of thing. It's very crunchy. That energy is very crunchy, and I did a whole big thing on that last week. So if you want to tune in to that broadcast after this is done, it's on YouTube, and I did a whole thing where I showed the diagram of what it looks like. So Venus is very active, in other words, this week. So Venus opposing Pluto is dark, 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 dark. It's suspicious. It's jealous. It's dark thoughts. Who are you looking at on your phone? It's all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. It's really, really, it's suspicious, dark. And like I said, it wants Venus wants power and love, and there can be a misuse of power and love during Venus Pluto oppositions. Luckily, it only comes once a year. It's peaking this Monday. However, it was active over the weekend during this full moon. It's going to be active for a few days. Like I said, the peak of it, the height of it was today, but it's going to be active for a few days. And so just kind of be aware of that. So if you're like talking to your partner, or you're, kind of question, you don't want to be like sounding like you're too suspicious and whatever. Of course, if there really is a thing, you want to follow through on that. But things are volatile right now in love, relationships. So if you are in a relationship, just know that it's not going to take much for things to spiral out of control. Like you think, oh, we're just going to have a little conversation. No. So you might want to wait. And especially since on Wednesday to Thursday, between Wednesday and Thursday, like I said, between the 7th and the 8th, Venus in Leo is going to square the north node of the moon in Taurus. And so when we think of the north node of the moon is our future, our destiny. What are we meant to do? And that can certainly even be a conversation like, what are we doing here? What's our future? Like, where are we headed? Or if you're single, like, when will I find anybody? But the reason why I'm talking in a very sort of dramatic and tense tone is because it's not only square the north node of the moon, it's going to eventually be square Jupiter, like on Sunday. See, remember, I didn't bring my diagram. I left it on my desk across the room. But remember, Venus is slipping into that position there where that T-square, it's highlighting all of that stuff. It's highlighting Jupiter, north node of the moon, Pluto, and so it's tense. And so on Monday, it's going to oppose Jupiter. On Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to square the north node of the moon in Taurus. And then on Sunday, the 11th, it's going to square Jupiter. And then it'll finally, it'll kind of be, done. Now, Venus square Jupiter is actually not a bad thing. Even though it's a square, and squares are a little bit on the uglier side. But remember, Venus is friendly and Jupiter is friendly. Who are the players? Well, I always say, who are the players? Pluto, not friendly, not friendly at all. And by the time it squares the north node of the moon, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in itself, it still has the flavor of Pluto sitting there. See, so instead of it being like this fun conversation of like, well, do you ever see yourself getting married one day? It's like, when are we going to get married? It's like, instead of it being like lighter, it's more intense and it's more pointed and pointy. And yeah, so it's definitely something that we have to kind of watch that right now, and maybe not have those tough conversations until we get closer to Sunday, and then say, hey, I've been thinking, and like soften it down a little bit instead of having it be so pointed. Because here's the thing, nobody wants, it's like, if you're acting like that, I don't want to marry you, So nobody wants to have that type of conversation, I mean, it's too tense. And if you're trying to, you're in love with somebody, it should be nice. It should be like, hey, I love you and I want to be with you forever. I don't want anybody else. Instead of it being like, what the hell's wrong with you? So yeah, so especially today, like I said, on Monday, it can be definitely dark, and then it gets a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter. So we have to just kind of keep that in mind. And that's really the whole entire beginning of the week is under this Venus and Leo, Venus, Pluto, Venus North Node. It's all the stuff, all mixtured together. It's like a soupy stew with, with Venus and Leo. So that's why I'm giving you the background of what Venus and Leo is like. Can be egotistical, can be all about me, can be a little bit into the fashion and how I look, and I want to look good and feel good and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's all that Venus and Leo, and very demonstrative. Like Venus and Leo loves adoration, loves praise, loves gifts. It's like you kind of can't go over the top too much with Venus and Leo people. And we'll all have just a little bit of that, even if you're not Venus and Leo. I have Venus and Aquarius. I'm going to have a Venus opposition during this time. And so there might be a little tension in the love life. So if you have Venus in Aquarius or other signs in Aquarius, you'll be feeling a little bit more of the the tension aspect of it. But remember, it's our vibe. It's how we go into it. And when we go into these things with consciousness, that's why I do these broadcasts, so that you have consciousness and you go, oh yeah, she did say, I better just, like, I better tone it down a little, because when we're raw and unconscious, it's almost like we're animals. We're just responding and acting out, like what can happen during full moons and, all those types of times that are tensious sort of time frames. So we might be a little unhappy with our love life in the beginning of the week, or unhappy with our look and our vibe and our aesthetic, or even possibly unhappy with our money. That all those things can be that way. And so we want to just be, because like I said, Venus in Leo is prone to overspending, like, especially if it's like a luxury, a brand name, something that's big and expensive. Venus in Leo can go all out. So we want to just make sure we watch that. And especially, again, if you're thinking of buying a house, a big purchase, a car, a house, some kind of thing like that, you might not want to do it especially during that Venus retrograde. You might want to wait. Hey, look, if you have the finances, it's totally fine. It's just that we can splurge and overindulge when we weren't meaning to. So that can be very Venus and Leo-esque. Now, moving on to this Friday, we have some mercurial transits coming on Friday, and that's June 9th. That's just temporary, like on the end of the week, Mercury gets involved in things. And so Mercury is definitely going to be forming a sextile with Neptune on Friday. That is going to be at 5:14 p.m. Eastern time on June 9th. And also in the afternoon, Mercury is going to form a trine, which positive sextiles and trines are positive. So a positive trine with Ceres, the goddess of love and beauty. Okay. And so Mercury is going to be in that, and basically going to be forming a trine, which is lovely. Okay. With Ceres, which is nurturing, caretaking, mothering, all that type of stuff. And then also forming the sextile with Neptune, Pisces. It's about being sort of very wanting to have, I don't know how to describe this energy, but it's like kind of dreamy. It's kind of imaginative. It's kind of like, just remember, it can be a little fluffy, whenever there's a Neptune thing, there can always be a little like schmoozy, like a little too schmoozy. So remember, if you're out there dating and someone's sounds too good to be true, they might be too good to be true, especially if you're buying a big purchase on Friday or some kind of thing. We could meet somebody that's a little like just kind of telling us what we want to hear, But it can be using our words to nurture, to caretake, to love, because remember, Ceres is all about the great mom, the love and all of that. Almir, you've been feeling called to eye out designer luggage. See, that's this Venus. I'm telling you, it like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I think I need to have Louis Vuitton, It's like, why I don't know, because it went into Leo. Big ticket items, that's exactly the thing. We'll start to get a little expensive taste, so we got to watch that, because that can overextend us for sure. Now, getting into Saturday is the fourth quarter lunar cycle. Once a week, every week, we talk about the moon, where last Saturday was the full moon. This is now what I call, and I nicknamed on Saturday, June 10th, and that the peak of it, the height of it, the pinnacle of it is going to be at 19 degrees Pisces, and that time is 3:31 p.m. Eastern time, or 12:31 if you're out on the West Coast. And so basically, it's going to be the second chance full moon. That's what I call these, second chance full moon. It's going to look like a half a moon in the sky. Okay. And basically, again, it's a time where we're reevaluating. So remember what I always say, as far as the full moon, we harvested. Okay. It's a completion. It is an ending. It's a wrapping up. It's a finishing. And like I said, during the broadcast, people were, saying that they lost loved ones or lost their beloved animals or whatever. Full moons are a portal. I have noticed that souls come in. That's why emergency rooms fill up and birthing units fill up, because souls come in and then also souls sort of exit. This is the second chance full moon. It is a time where we just harvested, right? Like, so if you think of the analogy for the farmers, like all the plants were at full peakness, and we pulled all the fruit and the tomatoes and the vegetables, whatever, off of the plant. We harvested. Now we're going to prepare the fields for the new moon when we plant again. So this is about extra clearing, extra getting rid of, extra elimination, extra all those types of things where we get rid of something. And now we're doing it in the mutable signs. So if you think about the full moon was in Sagittarius, now we're in Pisces. Pisces is also mutable, which is go with the flow. And so what do we want to continue getting rid of? Well, with Sagittarius, it's like high ideals and sort of our big philosophy and like all of these big sort of concepts and ideas and what do we believe in, and what's our life's philosophy, And then with Pisces, it's what's our spirituality, what's our beliefs and things like that. I mean, like when we look at, we're going to spiritually clean things up. Now, remember, Pisces is the very last sign of the zodiac, and this is the second chance full moon. So there is a bit of an ending kind of thing going on there. So that one can be definitely about clearing out, like, again, closets, clearing out friendships, clearing out like what really with Pisces, and this is on Saturday, remember, with Pisces, we really want to think about what zaps our energy. Like, what do we give our energy to? Pisces is a little bit more kind of esoteric, so it's like, it's more about a vibe and it's more about some energy here. So what do we give our energy to? What gives us really good fulfilling energy and fills our teacup and fills our bucket and fills our life, and what takes our energy, what zaps our energy? And if it's like a life-sucking thing, like you're around a person, you got to really be in the mood to hang out with that person and just, oh God, I have to go to lunch today with that person. Well, why are we doing that? I mean, it's easier said than done, I know, but sometimes we have to eliminate what sucks our energy, what zaps our energy, what takes our energy from us. And that's going to be, again, on Saturday, 3:31 p.m. Eastern time. And again, if you forgot to burn your new moon manifestation list on that last full moon, which was on Saturday, you can do it this coming Saturday. Set a little timer, reminder thing in your phone, or put it on your day timer, whatever you have. And remember to clear out. You want to burn or destroy whatever you're trying to get rid of. Remember, we're releasing, we're getting rid of, because we have to think about, like when you think about, like even clothing, like you can't buy new clothes until you have room in your closet, right? So we want to get rid of and open up space in our lives for new things, new friends, maybe new lovers, new people, like new whatever it is that you want. That's when we harvest that. That's when we start to do that. That's going to be on the new moon. And the next new moon is going to be coming on June 18th. I know a lot of you like to write these down. It's going to be in Gemini because it's Gemini season right now. And that's going to be at 26 degrees Gemini. So that's when we start to harvest new things. But right now we're getting rid of still. We're getting rid of. And that's something that we want to eliminate, And so that's happening, like I said, on Saturday. Now, Sunday is a big day. Remember when I said we had 3 planets on the move? So like I said, I spent the first part of the broadcast talking about Venus and Leo. Well, on Sunday, June 11th, we have 2 big planets on the move. And the first one here is going to be Pluto, and the second one is Mercury. Whenever there's planets on the move, even when it's a benign planet or a planet that, doesn't matter, when there's this much planets on the move at the same time, that means several areas of life are shifting. That's basically what that means. And so when we have several areas of life shifting and like a vibe, it's kind of like if all of a sudden overnight, somebody changed like your office and somebody changed your living room. It'd be like, whoa, that's a lot to deal with right now. I don't even know where everything is. I can't figure out what's going on. That's kind of what it's like when the planets move. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. You might like the new design of the living room. You might not like the new design of the office. But you might feel a little discombobulated at first. And that's basically what this is like. When you have planets on the move, then that's kind of how we feel. So we already had our love life planet, our love zone planet, and a little bit of the financial zone planet is on the move. And we have a shift sort of in energies going on right now. Now we have Pluto. Now, Pluto is basically, like I said, all the way back, in March, Pluto was giving us our very first little taste of what it's like in Aquarius. It didn't even get to 1 degree. It's still sitting at 0 degrees Aquarius. That's how long it takes Pluto to go anywhere. Pluto is now going to return to Capricorn again. Mwah, mwah. That's all that conservative. That's all that conservative energy. So when we're talking about Pluto and Capricorn, it's going to be June 11th all the way until January 20th of 2024. It is returning to Capricorn again. Now, it's going to do this twice. So just so that you know, really, like I said before, and go back and watch that video, because I do have that video on YouTube where when I recorded what it was like with the generations and all of that, for all you guys who are dedicated watchers and viewers of my show, you'll know that I was talking about the Pluto and the generations, and creates entire generations of people. Well, we're going back to that conservative energy, the established way, the patriarchal way, we're going back more to that sort of stuff, because we're going to revisit it not once, but twice, until finally Pluto makes its way fully into Aquarius. What it does is it's going to do is I call it a windshield wiper. It's not an astrology term. It's a Gretchen term. I call it windshield wipering. So what happens is Pluto goes retrograde, it goes back, it goes forward, it goes into Aquarius, and it goes back and again into Capricorn. And that happens over the course. Usually it takes Pluto 2 years just to fully get into a zone. That's why it's such a big deal when Pluto changes signs, because we're changing an entire generational kind of deal here. So Pluto is going back. We're revisiting Capricorn again. Look, I love Capricorns. It's not a Capricorn thing. It's a Pluto and Capricorn thing. And that's the thing, because it's like, it's all this governmental stuff. It's all of this a very much more old school, very conservative, very established way. We're going to get another really big sort of view of that. But these are what I call the final pop quiz, and we're gonna have 2 final pop quizzes in Capricorn. I have these nicknames for things, and that's how I teach astrology, because I think astrology sometimes there's a lot of language with astrology that it's hard to understand. So that's why I like to basically go back and sort of kind of clean things up. That's basically what's happening. Pluto and Capricorn, more cleansing of the old guard. That's basically what's going to happen. So the final pop quiz, this is what I call the final pop quiz, when a planet returns the last time, and there's going to be 2 last times of Pluto returning to Capricorn here. Basically, that's what happens, is we're not, how do I say this? That cycle is ending, and what Pluto is going to do is going to go back and really start to clean house and sort of, because we got to wrap that up. We're wrapping up that cycle. So it's not beginning, it's a beginning of the end. And so that's basically what's happening. Is I don't want to really revisit Capricorn with Pluto, but it will be cleaning up a lot of this, kind of old established way. And that's what the cleansing of Pluto is about. Remember, Pluto is the most transformative planet that there is. I mean, it's literally the cycle of death and rebirth. Where are you born again? Where do you invent yourself over and over and over again? That's where Pluto is in your chart. And Pluto really is only in 5 or 6 or 7 signs at the most in a person's chart. depending on what their house system's like and everything. But because we don't live that long, Pluto takes 248 years to just go around the sun all at one time. So, you know, it's a big deal when Pluto goes, changes the guard, you know, like goes from the Capricorn to Aquarius and Aquarius to Capricorn. That's a big deal. So we're going to go back and we're cleaning up, we're cleaning house, but it's painful. This stuff is painful, you know. All of the stuff, you know, when Pluto very first went into Capricorn, it was back in around 2008 or so. And think about what happened during that time. It was like the housing market crash and the banks, the bank failures, and how big is a company that's too big, and like all of these things. Yes, Wendy, China, please behave. Yes, exactly. Pluto is the planet of terrorism, nuclear activity. I mean, it's not for the lighthearted. I mean, for sure, it's pretty hardcore. And so when we have this Pluto kind of thing going on, it can be harsh. It can be really pretty harsh. And I actually, there's an astrologer that was talking, and I don't know this for a fact, so I hope I'm not spreading rumors here, but there was an astrologer that said that China was actually Capricorn. So I don't know, that I have to double check that to see what the deal is or why we consider China Capricorn. I'm not sure, but that's an interesting point that you said that. So yeah, so you don't know, it helped you in your 6th house. It really started working on you. Yeah, Kelly said that Pluto was really working her out. Hi, Susan. Your birthday is next week. Happy birthday. Gemini season. Yay. Everybody say happy birthday to Susan. Yes. Let's see. How do you see Pluto oppositions, Pluto to Pluto? Well, that can happen if you live long enough. I mean, we can have a Pluto opposition. It can be harsh. I mean, when we had a Pluto as a nation, when we had a Pluto opposition, Pluto to Pluto, was actually during the Great Depression. Okay. Back then. So, yeah, I mean, Pluto oppositions can be a harsh time. It's, you know, if you think about, you know, sort of our lives and sort of Pluto, being the great transformer and transforms things in death and rebirth and Phoenix rising. Usually Pluto things, any kind of Pluto activity, really any Pluto activity can be very transformative, but also harsh. I mean, Pluto is one of the harshest planets that there is. And like I said, today, Venus and Pluto are opposing each other. That's why I was saying it could be dark, you know, it could be jealousy and all that kind of darkness with Pluto being involved. So anyway, we are going to have a revisiting of Pluto and Capricorn, and we're revisiting this time of all of this sort of conservative, like very, you know, kind of established way. And we're preparing for the new way to really like take hold, which hasn't even really formulated yet, of Pluto and Aquarius. So we're like cleaning up all the loose ends back here in Capricorn before we can fully get into Aquarius. And like I said, this is going to happen twice where we revisit Capricorn again. And so it just is what it is. I mean, we can't do anything about it. And it is retrograde right now, Pluto. That's why it's going backwards. And it's going to be hanging out in the end of Capricorn. So wherever Pluto is in your astrological chart, in Capricorn is where we've been getting worked out for a long time. And like I said, this has been going on in Capricorn all the way since about, I can't remember if it was 2007 or 2008, but it's been a long time, you know, in Capricorn. So yeah. Anyway, that's the deal. That is the deal. So the other planet that's on the move, and that, just so that you know, Pluto is going back into Capricorn on Sunday morning, June 11th at 5:47 a.m. Eastern time. And then at 6:27 a.m. Eastern time, Mercury is going to move into Gemini. So Mercury has been, you know, sort of hanging out in Taurus for a really long time. Also because Mercury was retrograde in Taurus. Now it's finally moving into the next sign and it's coming home. Okay, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So it's coming home to its own sign. And that's always kind of a fun thing. That's going to be June 11th to June 26th. Mercury transits are like 2 to 2.5 weeks. Mercury kind of likes to zip along. So for 2 to 2.5 weeks, we're going to be hyper communicating, because that's what Mercury and Gemini really likes, is to talk, to text, to communicate, to email, to fax, all the ways that we communicate now, all the social media ways, all the stuff. We might be more chatty, we might be more social. And again, this can help you if you're a teacher, if you are a salesperson, if you are needing to orate or speak or get out there or publish your book, or, you know, write a book or any kind of thing like that. Mercury in Gemini is really awesome. So June 11th to June 26th is basically the peak of this Mercury in Gemini cycle. And we're going to get a lot of lively kind of talking and communicating and flirting. This is very flirtatious. So with this Venus in Leo and then this Mercury in Gemini, ooh, we could be, there's a lot of talking, communicating, flirting. I mean, that's going to be like our love language for sure. So that's something that we can really work on. So yeah, a couple people are saying they want to publish books, and that can be very, very good, you know, for all of that. Ashley said Mercury in Taurus was really helpful for you because you had Taurus rising, right? I mean, everybody feels these signs differently. And the good thing is we all share them. We all share the signs. So, you know, you all have Mercury in Gemini in somewhere in your chart, and it just depends on where Mercury is. If you are a Gemini, of course, you're going to feel this. If you're a Sagittarius, you're definitely going to feel this. If you are one of the other mutables, Pisces or Virgo, you will feel this as well. And so that's definitely something that that you will notice. Oh no, MK said you're breaking up. So I don't know if anybody else is getting that. Sometimes that's just your internet for one person, or sometimes it's my internet and is causing it to break up. What I would say to you is, if it is breaking up or causing problems, definitely go on YouTube and watch after the fact. I will post this on YouTube. And so that you'll be able to have it nice and clear. It'll be beautiful. Yeah, other people are saying that on their end, it's totally fine. So it might just be your particular internet that's breaking up. So anyway, so speaking of Mercury, right? Mercury is definitely active right now, because remember, still just yesterday on Sunday, Mercury formed the conjunction with Uranus, and it is still on there. And I don't know if anybody heard, but there was a big plane crash situation of a private jet, I believe, that was being chased down. Apparently they saw that the pilot of the jet was like slumped over in the, and then they think the jet was on like autopilot, and then it crashed into the mountains in Virginia. So when you think about that, that's all that Mercury stuff. Okay. Mercury conjunct Uranus. And so, yeah. So, yeah, check me out on YouTube if you're having trouble. Susan said she's having trouble with my video too. So some people are saying it's totally fine. It might just be your internet. Some of these internet, like for live streaming, unfortunately, you need to have like really solid internet. It's just one of those things. Otherwise, it'll break up. Rita said, I did break up a little bit, but now I'm fine. I'm sure Mercury is playing a role, but I'm going to have the recorded on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch that. That's another reason to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And so if you want to get, you know, this information, and it's on a nice solid connection, yeah, go to YouTube and you'll be able to see it. But yes, accidents, planes often will have problems during Mercury sort of transits, especially Mercury conjunct Uranus. A big, sudden, unexpected. I said that last week, that basically we would hear some shocking thing on the news, and that's definitely like really shocking, where they fighter jets were trying to like get the plane to kind of come down, and they did a sonic boom, which was heard by many people, and Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So if you guys didn't hear about that on the news, check it out. But yeah, power outages, all kinds of erratic stuff going on. Even this broadcast might be affected by Mercury. And so that is a thing. So Mercury moving into Gemini, like I said, June 11th, and that's going to be 6:27 a.m. or 3:27 again if you're out on the West Coast. And that's going to go all the way until June 26th. And so we will get our Mercury and Gemini on, and that is definitely a lively, super lively Gemini, because Mercury is powered, Gemini is powered by Mercury, and so that just makes it extra. That's going to be extra. We're definitely going to be in Gemini season, like for sure at that point. We already are, but we'll be even feeling the Gemini stuff even more. The twins. So yeah, so just to very quickly, and I am going to pull a card just so that everybody, one collective card for just what we need to know about the week. And yeah, so we have a lot of Venus stuff going on in the beginning of the week. Venus moved into Leo. Venus is opposing Pluto. Venus is squaring the north node of the moon, and Venus is going to square Jupiter on Sunday, also on June 11th. So we have a lot of planetary stuff going on this week, like I said, and then Friday we just have a couple Mercury things going on Friday. So we'll be getting our chat on Friday, and then definitely we get the second chance full moon going on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have not one but two planets on the move. Big planets. We get to revisit Capricorn again. And then we're going to have Mercury and Gemini. It's a lot, a lot going on. Yay. So yes. And Kelly said positive vibes for her nephew, Nate, on his birthday. He's 21 tomorrow. If we can send him positive Reiki, positive vibes for Nate, for sure. Yay. Yes. Oh no, Joanne said, can I help getting rid of carpenter? That sounds like carpenter ants, Joanne. I'm just going to say that. You said that you had carpenter ants. Yeah. Unfortunately, those carpenter ants, well, really, oh gosh, you have a big problem too, because that's Jupiter. Joanne, that's a big problem. I would call pest control company for real. I'm not usually, but carpenter ants can actually like literally destroy your house. Like it can make your like walls collapse and stuff. I mean, it can be really dangerous. So that's not like just like those little tiny ants. And carpenter ants are usually drawn to moisture. So if you have moisture in your attic or basement or some area that is getting moisture, a leak behind the wall or in the attic or something, you want to be able to get that taken care of for sure. All right, so let me, I'm feeling guided, actually, speaking of Mercury, I'm being guided to use my Archangel Gabriel cards, okay, by Doreen Virtue. I love these cards. They're hard to find because they're out of print, but I like using Gabriel was the messenger of God. So what does he need us to know about this week? All the changes. We have 3 planets changing. What do we need to know to best navigate? Okay. Have gratitude. Have gratitude for our I'm going to pull another card. I feel guided. You attract more blessings when you appreciate your current blessings. So basically, when we have gratitude for whatever it is that we're doing, it brings more. I will tell you with manifestation, I even forgot this recently. I was kind of laughing at myself because I was experiencing a block, which a lot of us are with this TSquare thing. And I was experiencing a block. And then suddenly I remembered, because I teach law of attraction. I even teach that. But I even forgot, like temporarily, just for a little minute, I forgot to have gratitude. And that is a great way. If you're blocked on something, if you want more money, if you want love, if you want whatever it is you want, have gratitude for the current situation that you're in. Because remember, like energy attracts like energy. So if you want something to match the vibration, you have to be positive about whatever the thing is. A lot of times we feel that we have to hate something to leave something. So let's say I hate my job, or I hate my relationship, or whatever. Like, we have to like feel very strongly and angry about it even. But that's not gonna pull in something. You can really like something and just decide it's not right for you. You can say, that's nice. I want something better, or I want to have a new experience, or, you don't have to be angry and hate something to leave something behind. And when we're talking about the second chance full moon, because we're purging and we're getting rid of and we're releasing and we're letting go, we can say, this was good. This was, I had fun with you. And this was, however, I want something new. I want something different. And so if we have gratitude, if we really want to pull in something, maybe you're not releasing something, but you just want to up-level something, that's okay. Have gratitude for the thing. Put a lot of love into it and a lot of positivity, and then you'll be able to harvest really good stuff. And that's where that comes in. I'm going to pull one more card for the week. What else do we need to know? Additionally, okay. A lot of you out there have been talking about feeling lonely. This is the Hermit card. And so have gratitude. Look, sometimes if you're single, or if you're feeling unloved, if you're maybe you are in a relationship, but you just feel unloved or unsupported, or some kind of, I know the card is a very dark colored card, but it shows up better on the camera this way, I think. But basically she's all by herself in the cave there. She's like, but the Hermit card is about sort of learning something new and enjoying your time. Maybe you want to make a snow angel in your bed at night when you sleep, and just have gratitude for being single. We think we have to curse the situation and get something better, and that's not actually what happens. We have to have gratitude for the situation and be like, what, I'm enjoying so if you're hermiting, if you're alone or you're feeling lonely, say, okay, I'm really grateful for my time as a single person, and I hope that I'm going to be pulling in somebody, at some point, or whatever, however you want. I'm kind of pulling this, I wouldn't say hope. I would say, I would change that. I would say, I'm enjoying my time as a single person now, and I'm going to enjoy my time as a partnership, as a couple, if that's what you want to harvest. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want you to have it as a positive affirmation. I would leave out hope or want, because sometimes even I said it and I caught myself, because that leaves us in a perpetual state of hoping and wanting. And we don't want to be there. We want to be having love and having good fortune and having all kinds of things. Yay, Ashley, you said you're very thankful for your financial good luck. See, there you go. And you had I knew you were going to have a good vending on Saturday. That's awesome. Oh, okay. And so you're grateful for your health, Susan said, but I am still on the move, I think you said. Wendy said, darling, sometimes being single is a lot less work. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. So anyway, let's have a little bit of just gratitude for our life. I think, like, wherever we're at, if we're whatever we're doing, wherever we're at, and that is actually a good way to harvest and to pull in blessings and good luck and good fortune and all kinds of things, is to have gratitude. That's very basic, because remember, like energy attracts like energy, and it'll pull it in. Whatever vibe you're putting out there, it'll pull it to it. And so that's a good thing to do. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope that this broadcast helped. It did go a little longer than I was anticipating, but we had 3 planets on the move. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And next week, we are going to be dealing with Saturn retrograde. That's coming on the 17th. I'd like to give you guys a little preview. So make sure that you tune into my Facebook Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on my astrology updates by Gretchen Heidel, or I do post the next tonight on YouTube, so that you guys can see. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful week, evening. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for joining. And if you've been a loyal follower, definitely thank you. And sending good luck and good fortune and lots of optimism to all of you. And I will see you next week. Namaste.